This is Alzheimer's Cure Updates. Today we're doing something a little bit different. I found 10 movies that deal with Alzheimer's disease, and I hope that you can find one here that you might enjoy. The Savages. This movie was made in 2007 and is rated R. John and Wendy Savage are two siblings who have spent their adult years trying to recover from the abuse of their father, Lenny Savage. Suddenly, a call comes in that his girlfriend has died. He cannot care for himself with his dementia, and her family is dumping him on his children. Despite the fact that John and Wendy have not spoken to Lenny for 20 years, and he is even more loathsome than ever, the Savage siblings feel obligated to take care of him. Now together, a brother and sister must come to terms with the new and painful responsibilities with their father. The Notebook, from year 2004, rated PG-13. Noah Calhoun regularly visits a female patron of an area nursing home. Rather than boring her with the inanities of everyday life, Calhoun reads from an old, faded notebook containing the sweeping account of a young couple whose love affair was tragically put to a halt after their separation in the midst of World War II. The next movie is Iris, made in 2001 and rated R. This episodic story of Iris Murdoch, best-selling novelist, and her husband John Bailey, is not for the faint-hearted. There are no illusions here, and those that seem to exist are shattered by grim reality. The film pulls no punches, showing Iris as a self-absorbed, stream of consciousness woman who becomes ill with Alzheimer's disease. Her husband, in sickness and in health, seems to be a step behind her. However, he is enthralled with her, totally devoted and ultimately alone. Age-Old Friends, from 1989. This movie is not rated. Cooper is in a retirement home. There are strict rules for the residents, but he refuses to fall into passivity. He flirts constantly with Nurse Wilson and spends time with his best buddy, Michael Alott, who is slowly drifting into senility. The movie portrays the fight for independence and dignity in old age. Still Alice, from 2014, rated PG-13. Alice Howland is a renowned linguistics professor happily married with 3 grown children. All that begins to change when she strangely starts to forget words and then more. When her doctor diagnoses her with early onset Alzheimer's disease, Alice and her family lives face a harrowing challenge as this terminal degenerative neurological ailment slowly progresses to an inevitable conclusion they all dread. Along the way, Alice struggles not only to fight the inner decay, but to make the most of her remaining time to find the love and peace that makes simply living worthwhile. Glen Campbell, I'll Be Me, from 2014, rated PG. This powerful portrait of the life and career of great American music icon Glen Campbell opens to the viewer the world of the singular talent who created the hits like Rhinestone Cowboy, Wichita Lineman, and Gentle on My Mind. Glen won the Grammy for Lifetime Achievement and is a member of the Country Music Hall of Fame. In 2011, when Campbell was diagnosed with Alzheimer's disease, he joined forces with his family to fight the biggest battle of his life. Glen and his wife Kim made history by going public with a diagnosis, the first time a major American celebrity would share this experience with the world. The Campbell family then embarked on a short goodbye tour, but the 3-week engagement turned into an emotional and triumphant 151-show nationwide tour de force. This epic human drama about the undying bond between Glen and Kim and their unwavering care for each other chronicles a story of love, resilience, and the power of song. Do You Remember Love? 1985, not rated. Barbara Wyatt Hollis is an English professor who begins to fall under the effects of Alzheimer's. The film documents her decline and the emotional turmoil it causes for her. It also shows how the changes impact her husband George and their children. At the process by which families can be educated and supported to deal with the impact of the disease, as well what is done for those afflicted. On Golden Pond, 1981, rated PG. The Loons are back again on Golden Pond, and so are Norman Thayer, a retired professor, and Ethel, who have had summer cottage there since early in their marriage. This summer, their daughter Chelsea, whom they haven't seen for years, feels she must be there for Norman's birthday. She and her fiancé are on their way to Europe the next day, but will be back in a couple of weeks to pick up the fiancé's son. When she returns, Chelsea is married, and her stepson has the relationship with her father that she had always wanted. Will father and daughter be able to communicate at last? A Song for Martin, 2001, rated PG-13. Famous composer Martin meets concertmaster Barbara at one of his performances, and the two fall in love. After divorcing their spouses, Martin and Barbara marry and begin a happy life together. 5 years later, as the couple is working on a new opera, Martin is diagnosed with Alzheimer's disease. As Martin's condition worsens and his personality changes, the couple strain to hold on to the love that once brought them together. Memories of Tomorrow, 2006, not rated, English subtitles. Seiki, a sales manager of an advertising agency, turns 50 this year. Since his job is demanding, he has always relied on his good health, but lately has become rather forgetful and blames it on his age. His only daughter's wedding is nearing, and shortly after he will become a grandfather. One day he is struck with a sudden physical downturn that starts impeding his work. He goes in for a precautionary checkup, where to his dismay, the doctor diagnoses him with early-onset Alzheimer's disease. He and his wife Amiko are daunted with unspeakable fear and sorrow, as he will gradually but certainly lose his memory. As he starts her fight against the disease, the couple desperately hopes that Seiki will be able to work with his daughter's wedding. Nevertheless, the disease destroys his memory little by little.